His team decided that they would be part of the action. Green flag about to drop. We're underway. Watch for the start coming from the 87. Oh, it's as close as you like as they wind their way down into the first turn. You couldn't have put much more than a fingernail width between the hay bales and that Aprilia as it flew down the front straight here, down the Paeroa Farm Services front straight. Be interesting to see if they've retained their composure and into the front. Got yellow flags in turn one, so someone's come down. In fact, we've got a red flag now, so the race has stopped. Well, I said it was close going down the front straight, and it looks like it got a little bit willing as they went down into the Ash Caddy corner. So that means we'll go back to our original grid positions. The boys will form up once again. And once we find out what has happened down there, we'll let you know just as soon as possible. It's a flag you don't like to see at any motorcycling or motor racing event. The St John's flag is out, so that means the ambulance is coming out onto the circuit here at Paeroa. It is the 2018 running of the Paeroa Battle of the Streets, the 28th annual running of this amazing event that pumps in something like $700,000 into the local community over the past history of the event. It really is something special. And if you want a lasting souvenir of something special, well, you can go down to the souvenir stand at the main gate there, down by the band rotunda. The Paeroa Farm Services Bears race. I can tell you that two motorcycles involved in that incident in turn number one. One of the riders back in the pits, the other one just being checked out by St John's as we speak. We'll keep you updated with what's going on with that. 6 laps for the Bears British European American Racing Series, and once again it's one of the Aprillias that dives down into the front running, and I got a feeling that that might be the 211 of Dwayne Bishop. We'll have a look when he comes a little bit closer. Brendan Code in that mix as well. Let's just work out who we've got missing. Remember, 45s for the Superbikes. These guys will be quick. Certainly the top 5 or 6 of them, because they're essentially European Superbikes. So they head down the back straight for the first of 6 times. Pure thrills, no spills. That's what you'll hopefully see here today at Paeroa, and that's the motto of Paeroa Farm Services as well. Wishing all the riders and spectators a safe and exciting day. So far, so good. So Dwayne Bishop, Brendan Code and Rob Whitehall are the front 3. Then we go back to Nick Campenhort, also on another Husqvarna. No, he's not. He's on a Moto Guzzi. He's made a liar of me. Normally he rides the big Husqvarna, but he's on the Moto Guzzi. So watch for Nick, number 196, currently sitting in about 5th place. Dwayne Bishop leads it though, number 211. The Mitre 10 Mega of Wanganui, Hardy Construction, Wanganui Collision Centre, Aprilia RSV4 RR1000. This is the same bike that Dylan Telford rode in Italy in the New Zealand off-season. Dylan was part of the World Superbike support package. Had a good chat to him over the summer, came back to New Zealand, hopes to go back and do it again in Europe after making some interesting contact. I don't know if you're close enough down there by the kink, as we call it, down here on the front straight, but you can actually hear the frame rails, we believe it is, or maybe the side stand bracket of Dwayne Bishop's Aprilia scraping the ground. You see there's a little bit of a dip there just past the pedestrian crossing. Have a look for it next time. It is something pretty special. There is a little bit of a lean angle as they work their way through that. So have a look at that as the leaders go through the Suzuki S's once again. It's quite a distinctive sound. You'll certainly hear it. Sounds a little bit like the front splitter on a Australian supercar. Scraping on the ground, but we're picking, the brains trust up here, Bill, Andy and myself, we're picking that it's either the frame tube or maybe the side stand bracket. Listen this time, I'll shut up. And he didn't do it. He must have slowed down just a little bit or altered his line. There was no scrape that time round. Certainly hasn't impeded his performance. Dwayne Bishop continues to lead it. Brendan Code in 2nd place, the Aprilia New Zealand Enai Oils Aprilia RSV4 RF1000 as well. So 2 light machines running 1st and 2nd and make it 3rd. Because Rob Whittle from Raglan also on the Aprilia RSV4. So as I mentioned before, no Japanese bikes out there. These are Bears, British, European, American racing. Here comes the leaders through once again, half distance now. He's just altered his line. He's just moved out maybe, I don't know, half a metre or so from that little bit of a dip just past the pedestrian crossing. But it certainly was scraping earlier on. I didn't dream it. Dwayne Bishop in the 46s, so they're getting faster and faster as the laps go down. It's battle for second and third hotting up now. Rob Whittle slightly faster than Brendan Code on that last lap, but still back in third place. So he's got to look for a chink in the armour of Code, which is going to be pretty hard to find because Brendan Code's been racing a long, long time in all different forms of racing. White flag out for Dwayne Bishop, Code and Whittle, and lap times pretty much the same as they were in the previous lap. Whittle still quicker again than Brendan Code. In that lap, in fact, he was the fastest bike on the track, faster than Dwayne Bishop, the race leader. Bishop heads him into the Suzuki S's for the last time. Three of them together as they work down the back straight. It may just come down to the last of the late breakers up in the showy hairpin. It's certainly a spot to pass on here at Paeroa, so we'll watch that with interest right up at the top end of the circuit. Out of the corner comes Bishop. There is Code, so no change by the look of it as they run to the flag this time. Dwayne Bishop, he got the whole shot on the restart and he hasn't been headed and he's won it and won it well. Code goes across the line in second place and in third it will be Rob Whittle. Well, we saw him on a Husqvarna in the Supermotos, but he's on a Moto Guzzi this time around. That's Nick Campenhut. Then there's a fairly healthy gap back to fifth place, Dave Gasson and Jeff Rogerson, and they're going to battle right down to the line. And it will be the 999 of Dave Gasson getting the chocolates over Rogerson. Next one through is the 27 of Graham Kepper. Then it's Richard Markham on the 19, Clive Mancini on the number 50. And that is the Ducati, 1299. And then finally it's Daniel Handley on the 89. So that's the way they finished in the Bears, brought to you by Paeroa Farm Services, part of the sponsorship package here at the Honda-sponsored Battle of the Streets for 2018. Paeroa Farm Services.co.nz if you want to know more. Agents for Waikato Milking Systems and part of the sponsorship package here. Formula One sidecars next. Adam Unsworth, Bryce Rose going up against the likes of Mick Paul and Robbie Shorter.